I actually changed the whole K-member on this car.
So we're back here with the Black Bandit, here with EJ. We're at Centerline. Lots of progress here in terms of fabrication. I see that the headers are now linking up to the turbo. Flex couplers.
Correct.
You got a new rad.
Yep.
And there is an intercooler. I know I'm stating the obvious here, but let me know what's going on here. I see that you got a new setup up front. A couple things got changed, the turbo mounting.
We pretty much finished up the crossover pipe, added some 2.5-inch interlock bellows. Supporting that, we actually changed the front member of the support up for the turbo and made it a little bit more easier to access the rad and the fan and the hosing and all that stuff. And then we mounted it up with a 6-inch core intercooler. That's pretty much it for now.
So you're gonna go off the throttle body.
Correct.
This is gonna get changed though, right?
Yes.
You're mentioning that clearance issues.
Clearance issues on the hood, so we noticed might have to do a little bit of modifications off the throttle body, but it will swoop around, going to the other side, 3.5-inch, and continue out the other side to the turbo, going to 3-inch. Also using HD clamps and vibrant piping.
Cool. And for this radiator, you're gonna have some AM fittings?
Correct. We're also gonna run our vibrant rad cat with some dash 16 or maybe dash 20 lines off the rad into the water pump, also with some AN 16 or 20 as well.
I see a lot of cool lines and fittings that you have running. I see hard lines running underneath the manifold. Now, what's the purpose of that and where'd you get that?
This is actually a Motion Raceworks steam vent kit. It's a very popular kit that they offer to all the LS guys. It dissipates the heat from the cylinders equally, so there's not heat traps in the back of the cylinders or in the front or in the middle, wherever it needs to be. It actually vents out properly and goes back into the cooling system, so it never has a steam issue kind of deal that these are really known for, kind of.
And I'm sure you can build it yourself, but
absolutely.
Everything nicely packaged.
And the good thing about Vibrant is we actually carry all those fittings to actually make these hard lines, and you can make it yourself in-house.
We forgot to talk about one thing on the last episode. How did you fit an LS engine into this car? So which engine mounts are you running on this car?
Actually, good question. There's a lot of options for the LS swaps. I actually changed the whole K-member on this car to allow me to just strictly bolt this engine into the K-frame. This K-frame, you didn't need a mount kit. It's strictly bolt in.
It's an aftermarket K-frame.
Aftermarket K-frame, exactly.
Cool. And which transmission do you have mated behind that engine?
So now I have a Turbo 400, which is a GM tranny, and it strictly bolts right up to our factory 6-liter.
You had that on the Ford engine, right?
Correct. We also had a different casing on the tranny, allowing it to bolt onto the Ford motor. But now that it's GM, it makes it strictly a plug-and-play kind of deal, and strictly just bolts right up without a mid-plate having to get changed.
So what do you have in terms of torque converter?
Torque converter, we got a PTC converter in the car. It's from the Ford motor also. Hoping it works with this one, but it is a PTC. It's a 9-inch converter. It's pretty much a full race converter at that point, right?
So after the transmission, what do you have for drive shaft and what do you have for the rear end?
So drive shaft, we got a chromoly drive shaft done by Bears up in London, and the rear end.
London, Ontario, for those of you guys that are not here in Canada.
The rear end was also custom. Well, I wouldn't say custom, but it was fabricated outside, also in London. The tubes were welded. It's got Willwood brakes, full spool, 410 gears. It's got everything that it needs to be withstanding this kind of power that the car wants to be pushing.
So we're gonna kind of stop it right there, and we're gonna wrap it up on the next one, and we're gonna go really in depth with Rene and talk about kind of the challenges he was facing with the setup and also working with the product. And he'll give some input. If you guys have any questions, make sure to subscribe, comment below, let us know kind of what else you want to know about the car, and we'll see you on the next one. Ciao.